how much heat you had when you were with Sammartino leading up to Showdown at Shea. I mean, you talked about how you were tired of getting people wanting to kill you. How much heat did you have in New York against the legendary Bruno Sammartino?
You know what? I didn't expect the reaction that it wound up getting when we did it. Because we did a TV show and filmed when I hit Bruno with the chair. And that didn't play until a couple of days later. And well, I drive up to some town on the weekend after this TV show played. I came out, my car was smashed, windows were smashed, mirrors were hanging down, keys, I mean, it was scratched to hell, back lights were smashed. I mean, what the hell is this? I had to have a police escort take me to the car, and I'm driving down the highway in my new Coupe de Ville, and it looks like it came out of a junkyard. I mean, it's beat to hell. So I went, my God. So I used to have to go like to a town, but park somewhere and hop in somebody's trunk and go in, you know, sneak in. I get there early. I walked out of Albany one time, someone shot at me. There was a big boom, and right above my head, above the door, I could feel little pieces of bricks flying. I mean, yeah, I ran back in the building. You know, and the riots. I remember one time I was working with the Polish Power Putsky and gave him a low blow and won the match, and the place went into a riot, and I'm fighting my way out, trying to get to the dressing room, and felt like someone kicked me in the ass. And I get back to the dressing room, and I get in, and Skolin's sitting there playing cribbage with Andre. And he says, well, it sounded good. How'd it go? I went, no, it went great. But someone kicked me in the butt, and I put my hand back there, and I went, what in the hell is this? And I pull out a knife blade about this long, you know, those Japanese knives that were wooden, and the one skinny blade, and then the handle, you know, sliding the handle. So I got stabbed in the ass, shot at, tried to run. Some guys tried to run me off the road one night.
What, the blade was still stuck in your ass?
Yeah, as I walked to the dressing room. Because when I turned to hit the guys, you know, I broke the blade off the knife.
You know what I find amazing about that, and Bruno, I mean, through the years, you know, Bruno, and his criticism, Bruno couldn't work. Bruno had one asset that he could do, and that's sell. And when you can sell like Bruno Sammartino, when you're over like Bruno and you sell like Bruno, you don't really need to be drop kicking and billing.
Yeah, very, very simple. But again, people believed in him. But when he, like I said, when he fell down bloody, people had heart attacks. I was going home from one show, and there's a car with like 5 guys. Some guy in the back's waving a big like knife around and trying to run me off the road and the highway. I pulled a 45 out from under the seat and boom, shot over their hood. They got rid of them. They took off. But that's the point.
Was you part of that Boston era where the elevated ramp so the fans couldn't stab you on the way to the ring and back from the ring?
God, I remember the back of the Boston Garden, we'd pull in and there was a ramp so we could pull our car up the ramp and go inside. Yeah. But one time a cab driver, as I got there and I got in a cab, took me to the Boston Garden. And as he comes through this alleyway between the Boston Garden and some hotel it was connected to, the fans are lining in that driveway, and they start smashing this taxi cab with rocks. And it's an older guy driving, and he's going, what the hell? And I said, well, go up the ramp quick. And he turns, but he turns too fast. And now 2 wheels are on the ramp and 2 wheels are off the ramp. So, of course, the fans run over and they push the taxi cab upside down. Now the little old guy's laying on the roof. I'm in the back going, Jesus.
You're in the back of the cab when they turned it upside down.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, John, you couldn't imagine the heat. When I tell the guys at the PC some stories about, you know, heat and how the business was, they look at you and they go, really? I mean, they don't believe it. They don't believe how it used to be.
So how did you get out of the cab?
Well, the security finally came down and
you're upside down.
Yeah, I'm upside down. I don't know if I remember crawling through a window to get pulled out. I mean, I felt sorry for the little old cab driver. I thought he might be dead. He's laying there in the front. But it was, yeah, I used to have to hide in trunks and get driven into the back.
Were you worried at the showdown at Shea? You have so many thousands and thousands of people there that something could have happened there?
The only thing I was worried about at the time was bad weather because it was outdoors.
Right.
And I figured, oh God, wait, there'll be a gigantic thunderstorm, boomer. And I think there was like 44,000 people in there, which in those days was unheard of. But they've also, there was 5,000 or more people turned away that showed up and couldn't get in.